Right. Got some Tekken news to share later, which is pretty cool. Lots of Tekken info got revealed. But we're gonna obviously, just like anything, we have to take out the trash first. You have to make space for the greatness. Ed Boon's pet decides to say this stuff, right? He goes, Tekken is so sick, man. I really wish NRS had this level of communication and love the way other major fighters do. Follows it up with, it makes me so envious because they easily could, and they could do it with flying colors. I'm gonna let someone lead my thoughts when I first read this. Ghost says, you all are to blame for MK downfall. With every new game, you're at the top sits there and tells NRS what a great job they have done just to stay on their good side and maintain your perks. Well, you guys just don't say anything at all until it's too late. Yes. 100%. I've had issues, as I keep mentioning, with the way NRS has handled Mortal Kombat for a really long time. I know some people like MK10, but I could tell in the way that it handles story, character design, I started to notice a massive shift away from what we got in MK9. And previous MK games, might I add. I mean, MK9 wasn't just the only one that had sexy outfits and awesome gameplay and whatnot. But it was a huge shift away, right? So this is a long-standing issue. And that's because Not Really Smart are one of the most wokest fighting game companies out there. Like, they're a joke. And you get, Captain Furry here, who nearly every other day, ending in Y, praises this, or, oh, we're sleeping on this character, or this character's amazing. Next day rolls around, he's all medicated up. He's like, oh, this character's the best now. Oh, I've been sleeping on this one. Shut up, right? This is why I can't stand shills. This is exactly the reason why I call out the only pros. Because these fucking people sit there and it is their job to take the game and turn it into a career. So they sit there and they ignore all the problems. Or they might scratch it somewhere in a fucking live stream where nobody even notices it, right? And now suddenly, lo and behold, there seems to be people coming out and actually going, oh yeah, maybe there are some problems with the game. Yeah, you can shut up too. Please, for the love of God, do not destroy the Tekken community or the Street Fighter community, because the NRS community is absolute dog shit. You're trash. You are 100% trash. The way you behave, the way you think, the fact that we have the amount of degenerate shit that we see appearing under posts, anything related to MK, anything that comes out of Ed Boon, we're getting please add this character, please tell us whether John Shi and Kenshi are going to have butt sex. All this disgusting crap that's not even relevant to the game. And then you morons sit there and you go, oh, I don't understand why this game isn't good anymore. What happened? I could, as a grown man, I could almost cry, right? I could almost cry if I wasn't so dehydrated from the heat in this country. Because of the offerings that Tekken is giving. It is unimaginable. And this is the funny part. This used to be normal. What Tekken's doing used to be normal with an NRS game, or sorry, a Mortal Kombat game, right? The amount of love and attention And the fact that the Japanese work ethic is basically like, we need to make the customer happy. Because if the customer's happy, like, so there's a couple of customers, right? You get the people that are fans of Tekken. Let's make them, we got to make them happy, right? They're the ones that put us here. So we've got to make them happy. You know, I know it's really weird logic, right? Then you got those people who are going to go, like I have been doing, saying to other people, going, man, Tekken's looking, this shit's looking fire, it's looking lit, bro. Whatever the, you know, soy people say these days, right? And so those people that listen go, ooh, I haven't played a Tekken game in a long time, or I've never played a Tekken game, maybe I'll try it out, right? And that's the next group of people they want to try and satisfy, and then the last group of people will be the tourists. The tourists that come in and hopefully love what they like so much that they'll want to stay and put down roots and learn about the game and the story and characters and everything, mechanics and all that. Now people might go, well, how come you didn't feel this way with Mortal Kombat 1? How come you didn't want to know everything about combat? And also because it's a dog shit game, right? It's a dog shit game. The combat is crap. And if the combat's crap, therefore I don't feel inspired. Yet with Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising, and when I was playing with Tekken 8 Beta, and then I've been playing with Tekken 7, I actively want to know more and more and more about the story, characters, the game mechanics, because the game encourages me with how good the gameplay is. Because when you swipe all of that away, what comes down to? Gameplay. If the gameplay's trash, people are going to walk away, right? They're going to go elsewhere. They're going to go elsewhere because it feels like the game is respecting their time and their effort, and you feel rewarded. What's rewarding in the combat? Mortal Kombat 1. And clowns like this, and a lot of the only pros have been sitting on their hands, ignoring the shit going on, and saying absolutely nothing, because they make fucking money out of it, whether it be on the fight circuit, whether it be with their YouTube channels, putting out content for combos and combos and combos, right? You know what I see? You know what I see when I look at Tekken channels? Love. I see people that love Tekken. Whether it be the gameplay aspect of it, the story aspect, or whatever. You know what I don't see? I don't see degenerate bullshit, stupid ass behavior either. I'm sure there's people existing, sure. But it's minimal. You want to know why? Because the community is far more respectable and far more tolerant and understanding. Right? Far better community. Like I said, you're always going to have bad apples, but there's more bad apples in NRS community than there are in other ones that I've seen. Right? And then you get crap like this, Warner Brothers, Warner Brothers, Warner Brothers. Stop just blaming Warner Brothers. NRS are not hostage. Okay? They are not hostages here. They chose to make the gameplay the way they did. They chose to design the characters the way they did. They chose to put the little amount of game modes in the game because they chose that. Stop running defense for these people. These people have already made their money. They are continually making their money. They are poor. The absolute absurdity about defending a corporation. You know, when it's so clearly they are absolutely just gutting it from the inside out with everything from crappy game design, crappy gameplay, crappy microtransactions, limited amount of content, you name it. Huh. Like, no, I'm not saying, like, well, I think Tekken 8 is going to be the greatest fighting game of this generation. 100%, right? I would actually argue my two favorite fighting games, actually, because I don't really like having the best, but as far as the AAA ones go, Tekken 8, 100%. But if I had to be locked in a room with 2 fighting games for the next 10 years, it would be Tekken 8 and it would be Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising. Both of those games have me excited for fighting games again. They have me excited. And you can. Even if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, there are fighting games out there for you to play. There is other stuff out there. The gimmick of fatalities and blood is wearing so thin. Barely anyone does fatalities when you fight them online. Like, no one gives a shit. No one cares anymore. Oh, wow. Big deal. Right? No one cares anymore. The gimmick is gone. And it's this sort of stupid shit like this, with no self-awareness, is hilarious. Right? Because these fuckers have been sitting there praising the shit out of this game. For what? Just on 4 months almost? Not a peep. Nothing. Lord B says people need to realize NRS games aren't for the fighting game community. No community about them. Yeah, it's for degenerates. It's for people that get their rocks off about thinking about Johnny Cage and Kenshi having sex. What is wrong with you? About people every day crying about needing their favorite character to return. There are some characters in the Tekken 8 roster that aren't in there yet. But that doesn't mean, and I like those characters, doesn't mean to say that, you know, oh no, like, I won't enjoy the game. Tekken 8 is absolutely gonna... Tekken 8 is the Godzilla of fighting games. Like, it is just gonna stomp all over everything. Right? Bet Noob won't retweet this. Until NRS decides to stop making movies with a game attached as an afterthought, MK will stay behind in many aspects. There's been another issue, another thing that somebody said as well, and I've said this many times before. Every single Mortal Kombat game changes. Every single Mortal Kombat game, they just have to make it different. Ed Boon is on record saying this stuff. What a clown. Oh, we need to keep it fresh and exciting. No. No, you don't. No. Right? It's like a car. You need the 4 wheels, right? We don't add a 5th one. We don't take one away. You keep the base. The 4 wheels and the steering wheel. So that way that anyone that jumps into that car knows how to drive it. They may not know all the ins and outs, but that comes with time, patience, and understanding. Every other fighting game out there seems to understand this extremely basic concept that Midway used to do themselves. That's why when you went from MK1 to MK2, not a big gap, right? Aesthetically, sure. But combat, you could just jump straight in. You know how to do kicks, you know how to do roundhouses, uppercuts, sweeps, you know how to block. The addition of the run meter in MK3 made it so that it fastened the game up, right? We've got, you know, you could run in and do these dialer combos, which were brand new to the series, but you couldn't do those combos unless you were touching the person, and if you'd already used your run meter, you couldn't do shit, right? Because, yet again, they thought of checks and balances, and all the dickheads out there that sit there going, but there were big combos back then. I didn't say you couldn't do big combos, but it's funny how these same people won't tell you. They won't tell you, though, that what they do when they showcase these combos is that they push the NPC or the second player into the corner and they sit there and then they do it. They're not actually doing it against a real person, are they? No, they're doing it so they go, see? And I'm like, okay, cool. Did I say there weren't big combos? No. But this is the problem with the fan base. You are unmedicated. Please bring back asylums. I will be the warden, and I will make sure, as your personal caretaker, I can't even speak, I'm so worked up, caretaker, that you get the proper medicinal doses that you require. Right? No. What we got in Tekken was normal. And now you see all the Mortal Kombat creators out there, and all the Only Pros, and all the big combo clowns sitting there going, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, look at what Tekken's doing. What have I been saying forever? Right? I've been saying this before we even knew about anything about Tekken 8, because it's not about another game, it's about the metric that Mortal Kombat games set for themselves, and then they completely demolished it. That's why, whether you played MK4, whether you played MK1, the original, the proper name of it, you could play it. Because the base, 4 wheels and the steering wheel were all there. And then Deadly Alliance came out because John Tobias was gone. And then Ed Boon decided to create a Tekken clone. And ever since then, Ed Boon has been trying to reinvent the wheel and the car every single time. And it gets annoying. At the very least in the 3D era to a degree, right? At least the 3D era was consistent to a degree. But Deadly Alliance was a major mistake because Deception was the actual game we should have got. They took so much out of Deadly Alliance, changed so much, tried to basically make a bloody Tekken, and they failed. That's why Deception was loved by so many MK fans, because it fixed the issue. You turned the car into a fucking tricycle with Deadly Alliance. And what you did with Mortal Kombat series, you took like you took a Lamborghini in Mortal Kombat 9. You took a Lamborghini and turned that shit into a fucking soy moped. Sitting driving around with your stupid man bun and your freaking fur head, you know. This is the greatest game ever. Shut the fuck up, right? Nah, this is what you get. This is what you get when you champion garbage. Do you think for a second that, like, do you really think that somehow, you know, NetherRealm aren't going to be quaking in their boots? No, they're terrified. That's why they crawled back, and Warner Brothers crawled back to X this month, because Tekken 8 was coming out. And they are just dropping Godzilla, right? You're being atomic breathed up the wazoo. And what have they got out for? What are they bringing out? What are they bringing out in a couple of days? Some chick with a chest binder. It's even little things like this, right? You know, they could have given Shang his soul magic. That's, you know, it's so interesting, isn't it? Like, they don't even understand some of the basic functions, right? Salty Locks is shit with Tekken anyway, so. This is, it's, you know, it's very surprising why a lot of the Only Pros only stick with NRS games. Because they're cheap, cheating garbage, right? And when they go up against a real fighting game like Street Fighter or Tekken, they just can't handle it. They're just incapable of handling it. Unless you have been playing fighting games as long as I have, and have gotten used to how all these other fighting games have played. That's why I can jump into a Tekken or a Soul Calibur, a Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Virtual Fighter, it doesn't matter. Because I played all of these. These clowns lock themselves in so hard, right, that they just can't function. They have no idea what to do. What if I told you that the reason why MK1 sucks besides microtransactions is because they listen to the niche online playing community, and that's why it's an incomplete game. That's correct. You noticed how, and this is interesting just to finalize, you notice how the only people that are satisfied with this game are the people that make combo videos or compete. You don't notice that? I don't believe shills. I don't believe them for a second. They're absolutely lying, 100%. Right. You look at the way that Tekken 8 runs and how smooth it is, you know. And then you go back to Mortal Kombat, and it's like you've got, you know, a couple of grandpas at the nursing home off their walkers to have a fight, like. Mortal Kombat, you know what Mortal Kombat 1 is like watching two old people fucking. That's what it is. It's highly disagreeable to the eyes. You're still trying to figure out how they're doing it because it doesn't make sense when you're looking around at everyone else and they're having a great old time. It's all smooth and beautiful and sexy. You got saxophone music and fucking smoke machine. Right? As a guy that I know once described the sound effect of old people having sex, it'd be like pouring liquid into a bag of potato chips and crushing it up. That's what it sounds like, and that's exactly the same fucking feeling I get when I play Mortal Kombat 1. It feels like I'm rubbing old people together. Enjoy absolute pinnacle basement barrel bottom of mediocrity in fighting games, because that's exactly what Mortal Kombat 1 is. Anyway, catch you next time.